This is Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance, and we are joined today by Ian Parkinson. He is the sheriff for San Luis Obispo County. And sir, over this summer, we have experienced some tragic cases of murder and abuse. I don't want to sound hyperbolic, but it's been rough. In San Francisco State, Kate Steinle was killed. In Santa Barbara, Marilyn Ferris was killed. In both those cases, individuals charged were undocumented, and they had been in custody prior for lesser offenses and were not given to immigration authorities because of certain legal parameters. Talk to us about what you know on this question, and then we'll apply it to what happened in Paso recently.
Well, essentially up till last year, up till 2014, if ICE would issue a detainer, it applied in two different cases. One, that the defendant would be denied bail and have to be held to answer.
Automatically denied bail, no matter what the crime was, automatic denied bail if ICE asked.
Correct. And the second case is at the end of their sentence, their local sentence, we could hold them up to 48 hours for ICE to come pick them up and deport them.
Got it.
These two court decisions, one a federal decision out of Oregon, the second a U.S. Appeals Court decision, basically nullified that.
Right.
And it said that if we were to do that, we'd be violating the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, and responsibility is on us.
Right.
And so
civil damages.
Absolutely. And local would be paying the bill, not the federal government.
And so that creates a scenario whereby, in your case, there was a criminal defendant named Francisco Chavez Corona. He was charged recently with child abuse, child endangerment in Paso Robles, I believe. He made bail. And so what did that mean for you when ICE, immigration, asked for the hold?
Well, the hold is very clear. All 58 sheriffs in California cannot honor the hold. It's not, we don't have the ability to violate the Constitution.
Right.
That's not given to us. So we had no choice. The decision to allow them to bail is a legal decision.
And it's irrelevant. Their immigration status has no bearing.
Correct.
Under the law today.
Correct. So he was allowed to bail. The only option in that case would be you could call ICE, they could come pick him up, but their job is to deport. So they would give them a ride down to the Mexican border and deport them, telling them never to come back, effectively aiding in their flight from justice, which is not adequate.
Because the goal, I understand it, for undocumented is they serve their time for their crime. And then at the end of that sentence, you can contact immigration, and immigration can do what they do.
Correct. And the purpose of the hold is to keep them in custody so they were held to answer for their crime.
Right.
And with these court decisions, it tied our hands.
And so in relation to Francisco Chavez Corona, I understand that ICE actually had received him last year, I believe, through the SLO County jail system. And what happened there?
Correct. In 2014, he was arrested, booked into our jail. We did turn him over to ICE at the adjudication of his case. He was deported. So he has been deported before, and the last time he was in custody, we followed all the rules, and this was pre the court decisions. And so you can see that deportation might not even be the answer because we know they can get back into the country.
And so quickly.
Very quickly.
I mean, that was last year, and he already came back and committed this allegedly heinous crime against his child. So there's no doubt, sir, that as a result of the San Francisco case, the Santa Barbara case, there's a lot of attention, a lot of noise surrounding actions, criminal violations by the undocumented. You, for example, were brought onto Fox News as a result of the case in San Luis Obispo County. So what does this tell you about kind of the mood surrounding this, and how are you addressing it when you are out and about in San Luis Obispo County, a very diverse county politically, ethnically, demographically?
Well, it's a polarizing issue. We know that. We know there's many facets to immigration law. And as a matter of fact, California passed the Trust Act a couple of years ago, which basically said the low-hanging fruit, the minor crimes, we would not put an ICE hold on. And that was the law. But these court decisions effectively change that. The problem is that we can't seem to separate laws. We look at immigration as a whole
Right.
problem rather than say we know the specific problems exist. We sent a letter, California State Sheriff sent a letter to Washington, D.C. and our representative saying, you need to fix this. You're leaving our citizens at risk and we need action. It's not ICE's issue. ICE is doing their job. It's Washington's issue.
So at the end of a sentence, for example, can you contact ICE to let them know that an undocumented individual is about to be released?
Yes, as a matter of fact, that has been the only solution that has been provided to the sheriffs in the U.S. to deal with the deportation. And I mentioned earlier about the 48 hours.
Right.
That 48 hours no longer exists. So what we have to do now is notify them in advance of a pending release. They have to be there at their normal time of release to pick them up.
I mean, literally, as they walk out the jail doors, they're right there to put them in the car.
Correct.
But how do you know that ICE needs to be contacted? Because, there's this whole notion that, do we want law enforcement in bed with immigration?
Well, and that's a very interesting question. Going back 31 years ago when I started, we used to be able to pick up people for immigration, and that has evolved into what we have existing today.
Right.
That's not our, we don't have the ability to affect those. So I certainly understand that. I think the difference is so when somebody gets booked into custody, they're fingerprinted. Those fingerprints are sent to the federal government, and they identify somebody, in my case, Chavez Corona, as somebody that has been deported before and is in the country illegally. And they send a fax to us requesting a hold. So that is our notification system. So we know based on our records.
So presumably, when Chavez Corona, if Chavez Corona is convicted of this child abuse charge, he goes to jail. Let's say a sentence is 10 years. In 10 years, your office should contact ICE and let them know he's going to be released in 2 days.
Correct. We do have release dates. Side note,
yes.
Mr. Chavez Corona, unless we pick him up, will not be appearing. He's already missed his court date and he's already fled.
Really?
Yes.
And what can you do at that point? Can you contact immigration and let them know he's fled?
Oh, they know.
They know.
Oh, they know.
So there's really, I guess anyone can flee, documented or undocumented. I mean, this is an issue,
absolutely,
generally speaking.
Absolutely, and that's a very good point. Everybody who commits a crime, whether you're documented or not documented, deserves to be held accountable for that crime. So I don't look at it as an immigration issue.
Right.
I think the whole purpose of an immigration hold is to verify that they're going to appear in court and answer their charges, because they're not documented in the U.S. It's so easy for them to return to where they live. And so that was the purpose of it. Now we've lost that. And now we have somebody in this case who has posted bail and has fled the country, and unless they return to the country,
you believe he has fled the country?
Yes, I know he has fled the country.
Okay, so we know that he is.
Yes.
Is that by definition unfortunate? I mean, he's left the country. He's not inflicting harm, if these allegations are true, on our residents.
Yeah, I presumably, but he can return to the country whenever he wants, and he is a violent offender, and we know that. And he deserves, like anybody else, to be held to answer for those charges.
Right.
And I don't believe that if he had been turned over to ICE when he posted bail, that would have been the answer, because we would have funded his flight. We would have taken him down there and given him instructions not to return to the country, which is not good enough for me. We need to hold people accountable, regardless of their immigration status.
His name is Ian Parkinson. He is the sheriff in San Luis Obispo County. My name is Brad Pomerance, and this is Charter Local Edition.